there was so much, I think I carried with me just a real suppressed anger and rage about it, which is why I think I was very conditioned to not expressing myself honestly, emotionally with people. I could do it through a script and through other people's writing. Absolutely could find it and find those truth and understandings of subtleties of that. But to really take ownership for my own feelings would be a betrayal to this condition. So if I spoke honestly, it would crumble. In my case, as a kid, if I spoke honestly and said, Gary touching me is wrong, this relationship is wrong, this is abusive, doesn't feel right. If I spoke honestly about that, it would all go away. I'd lose that friendship. I'd lose what was built up to be everything, because that's where I was discovering who I was, which was through theater and through friendships and those, and you get conditioned to not speak feeling. And so that feeling of anger couldn't be looked at because that would shatter. And yet ultimately that's what saved me, was feeling. Because it was through that anger that I went, whoa, I really have to look at this here, because to understand that I had been completely lied to, and I guess it's what made it most powerful was having experiences of unconditional love, which was, for me, the first one was having a child. So, that was a place in which I understood that so clearly. And having had that experience and having that so fresh, that was a time in my life when I actually saw Gary for the first time, after having understood from other friends and everything of what he had done and how wrong it was, and was able to confront him and then have him say, I've done everything to get help. That was a sick time. I shouldn't have done those things. But I'm taken, I've fixed it, and I'm sorry that happened, and I'm better. I'm not dealing with that. And so 20 years later, to see that he's still perpetrating and hurting young people, that really kicked me into the double rage of having been betrayed once at 12 and then again at 30, and go, and you the anger is that I can accept these things that are so awful. Like, how can I accept this? In being in relationship with the abuser, you become complicit in your mind. So it's like, my God, my best friend was being raped and died of AIDS at 30 years old, and he had been raped for all those years before, and if I would have said something then, maybe that would have changed, and I could have the inaction and inability to be honest in that way, it compounds why you stay silent, because you don't want to look at that, because you feel as though I felt as though I was responsible.